Can you live for free in Edmonton? Well, you're going to want to watch this video. We're going to talk about that. Hi, this is Melody Wilson with the ReLife team at RE/MAX Elite, and I'm going to talk to you today about how you can live for free in our city. Now, this is not a trick. This is definitely something that not everyone can do. Living for free means no mortgage payment and no utilities. Obviously, if you have groceries and your spending budget and all that kind of stuff, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about how you can get your mortgage payment and your utilities covered for free. So one of the easiest things that you can do is you can have a basement suite. So if you own a home, it's a 2-story home or a bungalow, and you have a legal basement suite in the basement, you could potentially live for free. Now, I would highly recommend that you live in the basement because you'll be able to rent the upstairs for cheaper. This is how you're going to be able to live for free because you're having the smaller rent amount in the basement, and your tenants upstairs are actually paying anywhere upwards of $2,000 a month, maybe $1,800 a month for their upstairs plus utilities. So that amount is going to more than cover your mortgage. An average mortgage payment, now this all depends on the house price that you have and your down payment, but let's say we're talking in around the 380, low 400, roughly it's going to be about the $1,600 mark. So that's already covering all of your mortgage, and if you're getting $2,000, you got $400 to cover your portion of the utilities for the basement because you're not going to be using as much, or you're going to be using 50% of the utilities. So that's a really good way, an easy way to live for free. Another way that you could live for free in our city is actually what you do is you buy a property and you rent both suites out, and then the money that you make from those suites then you use to pay your mortgage in the other home. Now, there's probably not going to be as much of a possibility to have an entire mortgage cover there because you got to make sure you're cash flowing enough. And sometimes properties don't cash flow you as much. That's why the suggestion of living in the actual home is going to give you a higher chance to live for free. Living in the basement is always suggested because you'll get less rent for there than you would upstairs, and it still gives you that freedom. So if you're a family, can you live in the basement? Well, it depends. We could build you a 2-bedroom suite that allows you to have 1, maybe 2 kids without being too crazy. But I do recommend that if you have 2 or more kids, that's probably not a good idea. I have seen legal suites where you can also not be in the basement. There's also above garage suites, and there's also, they're called garden suites. And there's also homes I've seen where they use the upper floor of a 2nd story as the rental, and you have the main floor with no basement. Now, you could manipulate that and have the upper floor, basement, and main as the main and the basement would be 1 unit, and the upper floor would be the 2nd unit. And then maybe when you're in the 2nd unit, you can actually make it work a bit more. Now, those homes, when you do that, typically are going to cost you more money to enter because in order to have a suite on the 2nd floor, you're going to have a pretty big floor plan in order to be quite spacious. You don't want to have something super tiny. So the house price actually goes up, then therefore goes your mortgage. The other thing you can do is be mindful of where your utilities are. Like, you don't have a whole lot of choice in terms of water and sewer in the city here. You have to use EPCOR, but you do have choices for your gas and electric. So you can take a look and see which would be the best option for you, if it's fixed rates or variable rates for your utilities. So you want to research that. If you want to take a look at how utilities work in Alberta, click the link down below in our description and you'll be able to find more of that information out. So another way to keep your expenses down so you can easily live for free if there's rent covering or there's tenants rent covering your bills is to install a Ecobee system or a Nest system to be able to regulate how much utilities you do use. This will actually help you save your energy consumption and therefore allow you to not consume as much. Same thing as if you were to put LED lighting in your home, you will use less power versus the traditional bulb. So there's little things that you can do. Of course, everything is going to cost you money to get you to live for free, but who wouldn't want to not have to worry about their mortgage or the utilities if someone else is covering that bill for you?